Welcome to Linux for the Rest of Us, episode number 68. The show about Linux, as the name says, and it's Linux for everybody. That's what we try to do here. We try to deliver a little something for people who are already into Linux, people just starting in Linux, people who have never heard what Linux is, and make it fun for you guys and informative, but mainly fun. And the guys that help us do that, we actually have two guys on the show today. It's normally just the door-to-door geek, Steve McLaughlin from LinuxForTheRestOfUs.com. What's up, Door?
Hey man, I'm just waiting for this thing to finally grow back in right.
Okay, for those of you on audio, he's pointing at his beard.
Yeah.
But what? You had a very jolly beard a couple weeks ago. About a week ago. So what's the deal? What's your plans?
Just to grow it back.
That's the
I
game.
just shaved it because she asked me to shave it.
So what are you gonna do next time when it gets to that same height?
No, I already did it once for you. Do I need to do it again? Jeez. I'm gonna try at least. We'll see how far that goes.
That's a good game.
Yeah. And I did want to say, I'm actually really happy this coming week, Steve. And it's only because I know I got the chance now to buy my family and friends Christmas presents. I used to never buy Christmas presents, Steve. Ever, because I was like, here, have a gift card, get away.
All right.
But now I know I can buy them Christmas gifts and support Podnutz by just going to podnutz.com/Amazon. So I've literally bought so far like 3 people gifts, and I'm gonna try to convince my wife to let me buy more.
Dude, you're awesome. Thanks, Door. That's fully appreciated.
Hey, dude, 2 birds with 1 stone. I like being efficient.
Then I guess I like being a bird. Also joining us today, Tracy Holtz from HT Redneck, which is high-tech redneck. HTredneck.com. What's up, Tracy?
How are you doing today? Hey, what kind of bird are you?
I don't know. If I had to pick a bird, I would be, I don't know, a falcon, I guess.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's not quite a bird. Like, it's not like a Tweety bird, badass bird.
I'd be a crow, unfortunately. That's just my luck.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The only question is, would you be
field eating corn by himself?
Well, no. I think the question would be: are you Heckle or Jekyll?
Heckle and Jekyll. I'm a big guy. Come on. That's why I'm trying to lose some weight.
Tracy is also co-host of thetechiegeek.com at the techie. Well, no, I just said the URL. The Techie Geek at thetechiegeek.com. You guys should definitely check out that podcast. It's very informative, and they take excellent notes. I gotta praise you guys for that. It's amazing.
It's Russ. It's all Russ, not me. It's
a good idea. Hey, well, thank you both for joining us. Door, why don't you start us off and get us rolling and tell us what we're going to be doing today.
Okay, this week there's honestly not a basic because I didn't have time. I'll make up for it. There was one quick story I wanted to throw in here real quick before me and Tracy get into things, and that is, like 2 weeks ago, I announced Doom 3 source code was basically being released. And in the game world, I don't really think a lot of people understand how much this means to gaming on all platforms, really. There's a story over at UbuntuVibes.com where they actually do talk about it a little bit. And there used to be a engine, Quake 3, that was open sourced. Thus, a lot of games came out of that, and it was all based off of an engine where they took the Quake 3, tweaked it, and then they called it IO Quake 3. Well, IO Doom 3 has been now officially started, and they are starting to pound on it. They're going to add SDL for portability, which means it's be much easier to take one game and throw it on any operating system. They are going to make native in installers for all 3 Windows, Mac, and Linux, and it's going to have 64-bit support. It's very, very, very new, but let me tell you something. Not everything in open source moves fast. I'll be the first to admit that. This is going to move like lightning. There's little doubt in my mind by the first of the year or by the end of January, there's going to be at least 1 or 2 genuine things to comment on about this making huge strides. So I'm really excited about this.
Why do you say?
Besides,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm
James.
sorry. Besides gaming, they also could take this 3D engine and blend it in with like Blender. So you could have like a real-time modeling engine like some of the big boys have out there, and that would be for big, huge commercial clients a huge game changer. If they could, like the Blender people could blend that in with their app too.
Yep.
So
yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
You mean with the id engine and Blender graphics? You're talking about like using Blender to make the graphics?
Correct. Exactly. Well, yeah. Besides that, they could use that engine to render different effects, real-time effects, and stuff like that.
Wow, that's gonna be killer.
Yeah, I mean, it's really going to be big. And if you go to ioquake3.org, that's where the core of this is going to be maintained. I'll say, and this is where everybody's going to come to it to come get updates and stuff. And you look at the screenshots, you know, I don't know if any hardware I have can run this kind of quality, but if it's possible, it's going to be thanks to open source.
Huh.
Yeah, last time the games took a huge jump was when the Quake engine was released, and then you saw a lot of big games right after that. So I got a feeling the door's right. There's going to be, especially springtime, summer, when you get these holiday breaks and all this stuff here, there'll be a lot of cool stuff coming up.
That sounds awesome. Damn, I'm looking forward to that too.
Yep. I kind of asked Tracy to be back on the show. I like talking to him. But two, and I know I did A and two, because he got hammered a little bit via email in a nice way. People asking for information. When he was on last time, he spoke highly about this FreeNAS box and how it was affordable, flexible, dynamic, small size, low power consumption kind of thing. And because he made it sound really good, he got hit in email, he got hit in the Podnutz forums about, we need more details about this. So he graciously said he would come on and fill us in. So here's the first thing, Tracy, for the people that might have missed it. If you had to explain what this FreeNAS box is to a mild techie, how would you put it?
Okay. If you're a mild techie and you work on anybody's machines, y'all know you have to back stuff up, evidently. I'll let you know now. I learned this the hard way. I'll repeat this real quick. If you are not using RAID when you're backing stuff up, that's wrong. I learned the hard way on that, so don't play my mistake. Back some of these up and my hard drive crashed. So RAID, if you don't know it, basically one hard drive fails, you got another one to back it up. You got a couple different kind of RAIDs, but when you back stuff up, that's all this is. It's to where you back your data up. And with all the live CDs and stuff out there, I just strictly use the live CDs and back up over the network, whether Clonezilla. Most of the time we end up using Puppy. It's just so fast and gets it done. So, and then we just boot it up over the network, create the folder, and keep their file there. And then we tell the people when they pick the machine up that we keep the data for about 3 to 5 days max. After that, we get rid of it. We tell them, so they tell them, make sure your data's there right away. We don't like hanging on to data. So that's basically what it is. It's just a box out there to back stuff up to. Some of you people might have heard of like the Drobos, the Ready NAS, iOmega Store Center. Those are a few of them. FreeNAS is so much more powerful, so much more flexible, and a lot cooler stuff you could do with it than those. And dollar for dollar, it's about the same. Realistically, I'm going to be honest, but it is so much more powerful. That's the thing. If you go buy one on sale, well, yeah, you might save a couple bucks buying the others, but it's going to be limited. The processor in those are nothing. So you're better off just building your own using FreeNAS, which is built off FreeBSD. So all the BSD people and the FreeBSD people out there, I want to thank you first for what you guys are doing. Thank you.
Is it still currently, it's being actively supported, right, Tracy?
Oh yeah, FreeNAS. Yes, yes. FreeNAS is actually geared for the. You can use it for the small and everything too, but they're really geared after the huge. They got these store centers of data for these huge corporations. That's what they're really geared for. But there's so many people hacking on it. Of course, they make it for smaller boxes and everything too, which you can do. But there's Fortune 100 companies using this to replicate their data on the big store centers where they keep all their data. So it's immensely popular. I would equate it to for the data storage side. I would equate it to kind of like the Red Hat. You not often heard about, but often used because how powerful it is.
Fortune 500 companies are using this?
Oh yeah. Yes, right now, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'll say, to me, the big advantage over Drobo, I'll say, yes, you might not have the pretty lights. You might not have the fancy curved edges in a box. The big advantage is if something goes wrong, you can put your hands completely into the file system and into the system itself and replace hardware and de-scramble the data on the drive if something bad happens. Where on a Drobo, you're at the mercy of it. Where if something goes wrong, I really don't know what kind of steps you can take to bring that stuff back.
Huh.
Right, and to elaborate on that a little more, how cool this is Dora's talked about this before on y'all's show, that if you could take your hard drive, if you have Linux installed on it, take it out, put it in another machine, turn on, it'll boot up because all the drivers and everything's on the kernel, so you're not going to get the blue screen of death or anything. Well, FreeNAS, how I run it in a live environment, for a lack of better words. Everything is on a flash drive. Just stick it in the back, just a little USB. Everything is on there, and that's where my config files are at. Well, let's say my motherboard fries. All I got to do is put the hard drives. Now, if I have 4 hard drives, I want to put them in the same 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 order. I can put it in a new machine, boot up off it, and it's like it's the same machine. So I don't have to worry about, get replicated the data over here and there. No, I just throw it in a new machine, start it up, and I'm raring to go.
Did you say you're running it off you're running FreeNAS off of a flash drive? Or did I hear
yes.
You were really?
Yes. Yeah. The OS itself is on a flash drive.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I have a couple ones running on RAID 1 with 2, and then I got one that's running on RAID 5, which I should have gone like 10 or something. I know people, but 5 is fine. And they're both just running on they're 2 gig. I probably could go away with the 1 gig USB stick, but I just had the 2 gigs lying around. When you go to trade shows, you can pretty much get those for that. So it just saves all the config files and everything right on there.
It's amazing. It's very
live.
Yeah,
and I'll say what some people do is they get compact flash cards, and they run the OS off of that. But like Tracy said, you can run the config for the OS from someplace else. So it's like, you really don't have to access the hard drive that much in FreeNAS.
Right.
Because it literally can load into RAM.
Oh, seriously.
Right. That way, like if you have like I use mini ITX boxes just because the low power usage like that, I'm all about using as much as possible. And most of the ITXs will have 2 or 4. Well, if I'm using one as the OS, that's only leaving me one more SATA, available. Same thing if I want to run RAID 5, well, I got 4. Well, I don't want to use one of those SATA's ports up for my OS. I want to have 3. I want the performance of 4. That's why I'm doing that. So that's another reason, you can use the USB. And since it's headless, I don't have to worry about the monitor. And I when I load it, there's not even CD-ROMs in these boxes when you load it. So it's since the new, I used to have a CD-ROM right away, but with the I'd say last 3 to 5 years with the more modern ITX chips and all that, they're USB bootable. Before it was just CD. So, but now that's all I have to do.
Wow, that's very cool.
So basically, what I was going to say, we're talking about RAID. That is the biggest question you're going to have if you want to start building one of these is, do you want RAID 1 or RAID 5? And